Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to the Modding of Isaac with Lyte. And today, we're going to cover randomness, RNG, pseudorandomness, and seeds. But first, we're going to play a little game. The way this game is going to work is we're going to start ourselves a new run as the keeper on a particular seed. So we're going to go with 9 GKT 6CWT. And once we're in here, as the keeper, we've got the wooden nickel. And we've got some battery charges here for our convenience. So, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use the wooden nickel, and you're gonna guess whether or not it drops a penny, a nickel, a dime, or nothing at all. And I'm gonna guess 2. Let's see how your results compare to mine. So, I'm gonna use it once. I'm thinking it's gonna drop a penny. Hey look, it's a penny. Awesome. Pick up battery charge. We're gonna do it again. What do you think it's gonna do the second time? We're gonna do about 15 times. Just so you're certain that the results are unbiased. Random chance says penny. Good job, random chance. What do you think? A third penny? Third penny? No, couldn't possibly get a third penny in the row. What are the odds of getting a third? We're getting a third penny. Nice. I think that's enough pennies for now. Let's go with nothing. Ooh, can we get nothing again? How about nothing? Can we get a third nothing? I bet we can. How about that fourth nothing? You feeling good about that fourth nothing? I'm feeling good about that fourth nothing. Whole lot of nothing there. I think it's time we got another penny. And a nothing. And how about that penny? How about 2 nothings? A 1 and a 2. And then how about 2 pennies? Penny and penny. And how about we close it off with a nothing? So I did totally flawless there. A+ every exam, every time. How'd you do? Not quite so well? Why couldn't you guess how it was gonna happen? Oh right, because it's random. Then why could I guess what was gonna happen? Because it's not random. It's pseudo-random. If you've never seen the randomness before, it's totally random. It has all of the properties of random sequence. You never know whether or not the next thing's going to be what you want or what you don't, unless you've seen it before. And that's where RNG really comes from. It's that you have this table of seemingly random numbers, but you always pull from that table in the same order. If you know what the table is, you know everything that's gonna happen. If you don't know the table, you got nothing. So Isaac has a lot of pseudo-random events. So you might be thinking, oh, he might have just got lucky 15 times in a row. Well, it works the same way for the deck of cards. So I know right now that if I press the spacebar, it's going to be the Hierophant. And then if we grab a charge and do it again, it'll be the Magician. And if we do it again after that, it's gonna be Judgment. And I could continue like this all day. Empress. And heck, after that, we'll do the Stars. So you might be wondering, Lyte, well, if it's not random, why are you telling me about this? Well, it's important that you have things that feel random when you go into it blind, but you want it to be consistent if 2 people play the same seed. So if you want people to race on the same footing for like the daily challenge, you need this sort of seeded randomness. So we're gonna go through and cover A, how it works, B, how to make it work for you, and C, some of the properties. So we're gonna exit out of this run and we're gonna start another one. Still using the same seed. Ooh, that was not with the same seed at all. Well, heck, we're here. Let's just demonstrate that it is in fact random. So, penny? Got a penny. Another penny? Oh, it is not the same as the other run. So if we start ourselves a new run with the keeper, this time 9GKT, 6CWT, there's another facet of the randomness. Because it's not just that I did 15 wooden nickels in a row and then 15 deck of cards in a row. It's that if I do this with the wooden nickel, I will get a penny. And then if I pick up the deck of cards, I will still get the Hierophant. And then if I pick up the wooden nickel and play it, say, twice, I will get 2 more pennies. And then if I pick up the deck of cards, I will get the Magician, and then I'll get Judgment. That they're not sharing an RNG pool. Each individual item gets its own. Such that no matter what else happens, what that item does on that seed is completely fated. You know exactly how it's going to behave. If you've seen the seed before. So let's head over to the code and see how to actually apply that in your own item. Because you see up here, we've got our own custom item, the Curious Heart. And what this does, it has a 4-room charge. You use it, it gives you a random heart. But for the keeper, well, that's just flies. So let's head over to the code, take a look at how it works. It's a very simple mod. It doesn't take a whole lot to make. So you make your mod folder. We're going to need content, resources, and main.lua. In the resources, it's just the image for Curious Heart. That is the only file in there, one single solitary ping. In content, you've got items.xml with 1 entry. Active, name is Curious Heart, description is GUI, GFX is the ping's name, the root is GFX items, and then the max charges is 4. So that's all it takes. It knows exactly what's going on here. Then we head over into our main.lua. Because I'm assuming you've watched the videos on making an item before. If not, all of it is here. Just pause it, take a look. So first line, as always, boilerplate, make the mod. Make the game. I make a empty table to put my functions in. I know the error that I had was likely just a naming conflict, but I still don't really trust attaching it to the mod variable. Next up, we make our collectible type. Collectible Curious Heart is Isaac get item ID by name, Curious Heart, as always. Then we've got our standard boilerplate for doing something on the first frame of a run. In this case, it's spawning 28 batteries, the deck of cards, and the Curious Heart. Done this before. If you need to see it, pause. Ready to move on. The really interesting part is using the item. So we have RNG test, that's our table from up here, colon on Curious Heart, and then an underscore because we don't need what it sends us. And so we add the callback, mod add callback, mod callbacks, MC use item. RNG test dot on Curious Heart. So up here it was a colon, down here it is a dot, and then collectible type, collectible Curious Heart, as we defined all the way up top. So this recognizes when you use only that item. And so we come into the callback, we've pressed the spacebar, boom, we're using the item. We grab the player, Isaac get player 0. We ask the player to get the collectible RNG, the random number generator, for our collectible. So our item has its own RNG, and we ask for that. And we put it in this variable, RNG. And then we roll it once, because we just used the item, we're going to roll it to get a heart. So we do a roll. It is very convenient if you think in percentages to roll a random integer out of 100 possibilities. If you think in percentages, that's a fine way to go. But if you just want 1 out of 3, 1 out of 5, 3 out of 16, feel free to use a different number here. However, if you've gotten accustomed to using math.random, this works differently. Not only is it seeded for that particular item, but it also doesn't count from 1 to 100. It doesn't give you a random integer between 1 and 100. It gives you a random integer between 0 and 99. So Lua likes counting from 1. C++ and Java and the others tend to like counting from 0, and the developers are likely more accustomed to that environment, and so when they made the randomness, they made it go from 0 to 1 minus this number. There's still 100 numbers, it's just shifted to the left by 1. So we roll our 100-sided die. We have to treat it slightly different, but it's fine. And then we get a nearby location. We ask Isaac to get a free near position near the player about 10 units away. I think they're about pixels, but 10 units of distance, it's not very far. 50 is about how far apart I put items on the ground, so 10, it's pretty darn close. So we just grab those at the beginning, shoop, all together, and then we have a big old if statement. This is one statement, one. It has one if and one end. The else ifs are in between. So if, then, else if then, else if then, else if then, else if then, all the way down the line. So this first one is if the roll is less than 25, so 0 to 24. There are 25 possibilities out of the 100, 1/4 of the time. All you do is animate sad. You got nothing. If that didn't happen, then you check, did you roll under 45? So anything that was from 25 to 44, we spawn a half heart at that nearby location, not moving. So you've seen this before. Isaac spawn, a pickup, a heart, a half heart, nearby. That's what we set right up here. This vector is the velocity, not going anywhere. And the nil is what spawned it. We don't care. So that's 25 to 44. Next up, we do 45 to 54. Again, we're spawning a heart, but this time a full heart. And then 55 to 59, a double red heart. And then 60 to 74, soul heart. 75 to 89, a black heart. And then 90 to 100. Oh, but we don't get to 100. 90 to 99, we get an eternal heart. This else here, not an elf, an else here just says if anything other than all these previous things happen, then do this. So all of these chain in a row in order. There's no overlap. You'll never do more than one of them. And we use strictly less than, such that you can see this 25 and think 25%. Because if you put the equals, that's now 26%. You're looking at 26 out of the 100 numbers. Like this, 0 to 24, 25 numbers. 25%. And there's only one extra line here, and that's return true. When you return true from a use item callback, you hold up the item real quick. It goes right back down again, so it's not good for Rainbow Candle, but if you just have an item that you want to show when you use it, all you have to do is return true. No fancy animations, no nothing. Just return true, boop, shows it, you're done. That's all the code there is for this. Most of it's right in here, and it's not even all that complicated. You get the player, you get the RNG, you roll a die, you find a place to put the heart, you figure out which heart you want, you put it there, you hold the thing up. The end! So let's see it in action. And I want to show you that it does in fact follow the seed. So if we head back over into Isaac, we can exit out of this run. We're going to start a new one as Isaac on that same seed. 9GKT 6CWT. And here we are. What we're going to do is grab ourselves the Curious Heart. And now this one is going to start off with an Eternal Heart. We pick these up. Then we should get a Soul Heart. And then a Half Heart. And a Whole Heart. And then 3 Black Hearts in a row. So random, but completely predictable. And if we pick up the deck of cards, it doesn't matter that we're Isaac now. It still gives us the Hierophant, and then the Magician, and then the Judgment. And there we are. So no matter who you are, the seed stays constant. It continues to do the collectible RNG the way it's meant to. Not everything uses this sort of seeded randomness, though. If we were to give ourselves, let's see, give item C150, Tough Love. This is not seeded. This randomness, if we gave ourselves tough love and tried this again, we wouldn't necessarily get the tooth shots at the same time. Anything that happens this often and uncontrollably does not really benefit from being seeded. But any collectibles that give you things, anything that could be a run changer, really should be seeded, such that everyone getting that thing on that run has the same chance when you're in a race or you're in a daily. I do want to cover how to do this with a character where it's not based on an item, but it's not quite as clear how you go about it. So I'm going to save that for another episode. So if you want to do something like Eden, where you start with something random, you start with a random syringe, you start with a random cute hat. You want those things to be seeded, but it's not quite as clear cut where you draw that seed from. So I will do that in a future episode, but that's all for this. So I will see you in the next episode of the Modding of Isaac with Lyte.